thanks, champ, for a hell of a ride. Well, there was a lump in everybody's throats, and almost 40 years later, I say the same thing. Thanks, champ, for a hell of a ride.
Steve, it was indeed. What part of that ride were you on, Jimmy Lennon?
It was a great ride for me. You know, following up with Steve's comments, I think that a lot of people have those personal connection memories with Ali because it was such a priority for him. In a group situation, I saw so many times that he would single out one person and make a magic moment take place, whether it was a hug or clowning around with them. And that magic moment happened with me in all places of Jakarta, Indonesia. We were there for an event, and his suite was next to my hotel room, and he invited me over to watch the fight between Julio Cesar Chavez and Meldrick Taylor. Well, for about an hour before that fight, just he and I, he performed magic tricks for me. And believe me, they were really very good. Had me completely stumped until he taught me the magic tricks. We talked a little bit about his early inspiration, his faith. We talked about my father announcing his fights. We watched the fight, and I left with a memory I will never, ever forget. And, you know, I am convinced that while Ali, he influenced the masses, he influenced world leaders, but I think he got just as much enjoyment out of making those one-on-one connections with people, and that's truly been inspirational to me.
Thank you, Jimmy. Just beautiful. He did have a magic about him. First interview I ever did in broadcasting, I was 18 years of age. It was with Muhammad Ali. And then many decades later, Ali honored me by allowing me to do the last interview that he ever did on television. Many interviews in between. I'm going to give you a little story that happened. We were driving, and Ali asked me to come along with him from Atlanta to Columbia, South Carolina, about a 3.5-hour drive. During that drive, we pulled off the freeway to get some gas right at the state border. When we got off and got in the gas, we went to get back on the freeway, and he saw some kids playing on some dirt and some gravel, basketball. It was a peach basket nailed against a tree, about 15 kids, all African American. Well, Ali drove down there and he said, let's get out of the car, watch this, guys. We got out of the car, the ball bounced over to him, he took it, and one of the kids came over and saw him and looked at him, and he touched him, and his eyes, like the toothpicks in the cartoon, got that wide open, and they all came over, and they couldn't believe that Muhammad Ali was there. Well, he shot baskets with him. We started with 15 kids. It turned to 30. 30 turned to 60. 60 turned to about 120. They're coming out of the mountains. You can feel the rumble. All of this wooded area. Now there's chickens running out on the court. The parents. By the time we left, there were 500 or 600 people there. It was hard to pull away, but Ali touched every one of those people, made sure that he patted them on the head, shook a hand, or signed an autograph. As we left, there were people literally on the hood of the car, on the roof, and on the trunk. It was a moment that I will never forget, and none of us will ever forget what he has left and the impression that he left with each and every individual. He was an inclusive guy who could have been very exclusive. Brian, back to you.
Great stories, Jim. Gentlemen, thank you very much. And, of course, we'll have more remembrances of Muhammad Ali later in the evening, but let's set the lineup for 3 fights ahead. In our main event, it's a battle of 140 pounds as Ruslan Provatnikov makes his Showtime debut, taking on the big punching John Molina Jr. Super welterweights on tap in one of our co-feature bouts. The unbeaten former champion Demetrius Andrade fights top 10 contender Willie Nelson. Now the winner gets a world title shot, and we open the night with a showdown for the vacant WBC lightweight title. The undefeated Dejan Zlaticanin takes on Franklin Mamani. 3 fights straight ahead here on Showtime. And a quick reminder, check out our social media sites. Join the conversation during tonight's fight. Follow us on Twitter at Showtime Boxing for live highlights and exclusive ringside photos. It's time now for our first fight of the evening. Here's Morrill, Al, and Paulie.
All right, BC, thank you very much. We are set for a vacant lightweight championship fight. Dejan Zlaticanin was supposed to challenge the champion Jorge Linares, but Linares was stripped of the belt after fracturing his right hand. He was then supposed to face Emiliano Marsili. He withdrew due to illness, so it will be Franklin El Matador Mamani who gets a chance to make history tonight. And the 29-year-old Mamani, looking to become the first fighter from Bolivia to win a boxing championship, is facing his 8th southpaw. And that southpaw is none other than Dejan El Dinamita Zlaticanin, undefeated at 17-0 with 10 wins coming inside the distance. He is also looking to make history tonight as he wants to become the first native of Montenegro to call himself a boxing champion. Let's go to Al Bernstein for the tale of the tape.
Well, as we look at the numbers, they are very, very similar, but what those numbers don't show is the fact that Zlaticanin is a southpaw, and he has fought a much better brand of opposition. So Mamani has an uphill battle here tonight. He took the fight on short notice. He says he's ready to go, and he wants to be the one to make history.
And the rules for tonight's fights, there is no standing 8 count, no 3 knockdown rule. The referee or doctor can stop the fight. A fighter cannot be saved by the bell in any round. If an accidental foul or headbutt causes a fight to end within 4 rounds, it's a no decision. After 4 rounds, they go to the scorecards for a technical decision. And now with the official introductions, Hall of Fame ring announcer, Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to you, and we welcome you to Turning Stone Resort Casino here in Verona, New York, as we have a big night of action in store for you. A triple header brought to you by Arthur Palullo's Banner Promotions and Showtime, sponsored by Tecate, Born Bold. This bout in the ring is presented in association with DeBella Entertainment and is sanctioned by the WBC President in attendance, Mauricio Suleiman. The supervisor is Michael George. Introducing our judges, scoring this bout from ringside, from New York, Don Ackerman. From Connecticut, Glenn Feldman. And also from New York, John McKay. Introducing our referee in charge, he'll be giving instructions after the introductions, Charlie Fitch. All right, fans, here we go. 12 rounds of boxing for the vacant WBC Lightweight Championship of the World. Introducing to you first on my right, fighting out of the red corner, wearing the colors of the Bolivian flag, red, yellow, and green, hailing from La Paz, Bolivia. His weight, a trim and ready 133.5 pounds. His record stands at 21 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw, with 12 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight he is making his first attempt at a world title and ranked the WBC number 5 world contender. Please welcome Franklin El Matador Mamani. His opponent across the ring on my left, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black trunks with gold trim, hailing from Podgorica, Montenegro. He weighed in at a ready 134 pounds. He is undefeated in his campaign to the ring with a record of 17 wins, no losses, 10 wins coming by way of knockout. Tonight also making his first attempt at a world title. Please welcome the undefeated WBC number 1 ranked lightweight contender, introducing Dejan Zlaticanin. Once again, a referee in charge. Now to give instructions, Charlie Fitch.
1 second. Come on. Boxer, come on out. 2 seconds. Good evening, gentlemen. You both know the rules. Touch gloves now. Come on, fighting at the bell.
With all due respect to my fellow Canadian Justin Bieber, fighting is cool when it's done by professionals. You shouldn't do it in a hotel after Game 3 of the NBA Final. 2 professionals ready to vie for a vacant lightweight title.